Hit the button. Midterm time. Hit the button so I can hurry and get to it. Peace and happy Thursday. I should not just toss this. Um, by the way, this isn't one of the new ones, but new Grayskull hoodie up on the website. Got a different back too. Something different than this. We used to put the roster on the back. Something different on it. Check the Grayskull site, grayskull.com, to see what's new. It's Gray Area shirts no longer on there. I think we took it off, but there's posters. The sticker pack is on there. Ooh, sticker pack. We'll get that later. But hit the button today. It's about midterms. It's midterm time. We got uh, going up to client agreements. So got about 10 units to study for. Did pretty well on last night's quiz. We got 9 out of 10 right. I think there were 2 to 3 that I didn't know the answers to. So obviously, some places where I can brush up. So I'm going to focus on that today. Um, Luckily, we're walking into the midterms with 2 extra points for my team because of the 2 or 3 extra points for because of the ones that we've gotten right. With the fact that we got the most answers right on certain nights. What else was I gonna mention? There was something else I wanted to mention before I got in. Oh, just a lot of the conversations that are having. If anybody's paying attention to any of these, a lot of what's on my heart and mind right now is just the ways that our the societal breakdown right now. And there's society's always in a state of flux. So for one thing, I'm really focusing on not allowing myself to focus on the doom and gloom, working on breaking that up because, in conversations I'm having, so many of us are locked into absolutes of what's to come or absolute ways of dealing with what's happening. And I'm not seeing a lot of open mindedness to alternatives, alternative ideas. I'm not seeing a lot of openness to considerate communication. I think so many people are just locked into it's on, it's up, it is what it is, and that may be what it is for some of us. But if everybody gets locked into that, what happens to society? Doesn't that kind of lock us into a continual or perpetual death spiral? And the conversation I just had with the wife downstairs and auntie um, was refreshing. First, one thing I caught from the conversation was that I'm forgetting to stay focused on what I need to identify as a personal mission right now. And that's learning to listen better. I keep reminding myself that it's important, and I keep catching myself getting caught up in these conversations where, I actually thought about it on my walk this morning. I picked it up in a corporate environment. Don't know if that, for grain of salt, I had a goal when I finally started working and started to see, oh, I can make a way for myself and my family by dedicating myself to some things in this corporate spaces. And when I finally got that first corporate job and got out of the small companies and private companies and got into a publicly traded company, that's when I started seeing some behaviors on a routine basis that I eventually learned to adopt in some ways in order to feel like I wasn't being steamrolled, in order to feel like I was important, in order to get my points across. And I lost myself and I lost the value of, I lost sight of what the real value of communication is, and lost sight of the value of both sides of the communication process, listening as well as sending. And when I say listening, especially when someone else is in the process of sending or transmitting a thought, because I've noticed how easily something they say and what they and while they're articulating a point triggers a thought in my mind, a response in my mind, and I get so locked into my thought or my response that I miss some of their words or miss some of their body language or something that's being communicated in the moment. And the conversation becomes a competition as opposed to an opportunity to commune. And then we wonder why we have a breakdown in community is, the next thought that comes to mind for me. And, that so many people, especially when it comes to political conversations, say, oh, it's these are things that are resolved on the local level. But is it the local political level, or is it the local personal level, local community level, local household level, um, local thoughts, local decisions in our minds? So um, yeah, just really thinking about, um, again, one of the big words for me is accountability, and just kind of thinking about, you know can we each, I'm wondering how I can focus, what my part can be, and a lot of that is how can I make better decisions internally and in one-on-one conversations. Part of that's by listening, but also how else can I show up in a way that's also not just going to allow me to understand people better, but also to just maybe make a healthier environment for everybody. Because I also understand that just sitting back and doing nothing isn't helpful. Um, got into a conversation last night where I had to walk away in the middle of the conversation. At a point we kind of both walked away at the same time on some agree to disagree, but it was like I felt the energy going somewhere that it does not encourage. Would normally wouldn't encourage me to want to follow up on that conversation, but my choice today is to follow up on that conversation and to follow it up by focusing on not the points and trying to prove points, but acknowledging my mistakes in that conversation, and hopefully finding some ways that maybe they could have showed up in the conversation better, so that we could have walked away with a different vibe, and with walked away with something valuable, walked away gaining something from the conversation, as opposed to a ha, I got my point across. Because one, that didn't happen, but two, what was the value of the exchange if we don't walk away with anything? To me, it's a waste of time if you don't walk away from a conversation, and gain something. So sidebars and thoughts. Again, the focus back on studying for the day, but I think I'm enjoying these. These are kind of these moments to sit and talk, just dump my thoughts. I've noticed over the years that video journaling is one of the best ways for me to clear my head, and also the conversation on Grayskull weekly conversations also kind of help clear my head and thoughts. But again, I want to focus more. Even on the call with Grayskull, I had to catch myself and realize you're not doing enough listening. So I want to focus more on listening and changing internally, so I can see a different world outside. But off to midterms. Hope you're doing well. Hope you have a great day. Treat yourself well and do some kind for somebody else.